Rick, how's Monte?
Texas. Is that where you learned how to play the French horn?
Oh, yeah.
Great
man.
music school, right?
Well, no, I'm an honorary coach. This is an official coach in polo. So, yeah. We didn't make the tournament just like S&U, but we have made it more recently.
Shots fired.
Too soon.
How's Monte feeling?
I think he's doing better. All right, he's going to play, unless he has a compound fracture. He's just, that's how he's been all year. I mean, I never thought he'd play in that Eastern trip before the break. And I didn't even think he was going to travel on the trip, let alone play in the first game of the trip. So, expect him to go.
Rick, last night you said that he was hell-bent on playing all 82 games.
Well, this is my
Sure.
my summation, my opinion.
Which-
It's in no way representative of anything he told me, but that's just what it seems like.
What's your opinion on, what sort of badge of honor is that around the league to be seen as someone, and he did it last year too, I mean, to be able to play all 82, is that something that players and coaches, I mean, do you take note of that pretty seriously?
Coaches always do, and there are certain players that really view it as a big deal. I wish more players did. You know, I think there's a percentage of guys that really see the honor in it and the difficulty and the challenge of doing it. So, but most guys wouldn't have played in that pre-All-Star game trip, let alone the first game. And then last night too, just So look, we're lucky he's been a warrior like that for us, because it'd be really impossible to replace what he brings to our lineup.
What happens in a situation like that very late in the season when you want to rest some guys before the playoffs start and they want to play?
Well, let's just talk about tonight. Today's March 17th. I mean, and I'm not going to get into talking about things that are may or may not be topics a month from now. That doesn't make sense, but those things resolve themselves when the time comes, and it becomes pretty obvious what the right thing to do is usually. So we'll see.
Brandon had a nice all-around game last night. Can you just talk about how much he has evolved as a player within your system?
Yeah, he's gotten better each year. He's got stronger this year, which has been helpful for him, banging with and grinding with big guys. Boston's guys aren't that. They don't necessarily have 7-footers out there, but their big guys are strong and they're active and they're a very good rebounding team. So the extra strength, is needed for a night like tonight. And he gets a lot of attention because he's a high flyer and plays above the rim. And he's important to us, but all the guys at that position are important, and we value all of them.
No, that doesn't really apply tonight, but does your heart go out a little to a franchise like Boston, a respected franchise you have a close connection with, obviously, and what they're going through these days?
Well, they have a plan that they're executing, and they have a vision of what they want to do. They've got a great young coach who's going to be there a long time, and Danny's turned that team around turned that team over once already into a championship team, and did it in very short order. They went from being a deep lottery team to winning the title the next year. So I know that they'll get it turned around quickly. And this year they got some young guys that are core. I think going to be long-term core pieces that are getting good experience. So and then Rondo, is still one of the great point guards in the league, and he's a guy you can definitely build around. So I don't know that they need empathy or sympathy. I respect the fact that they made hard decisions, and it's difficult when you have to let guys go that are all-time great players. Guys like Pierce and Garnett. But they're on a different path, and they'll certainly get there.
Jeff Green was in OKC. He was one of the harder defenders on dirt, but as he's now moved to Boston and his offensive game has developed, what have you seen for him in terms of offensively, his array, his ability to score?
Well, he had 39 last night, so he's doing well. His three-point shooting gets better each year. Every year, his coaches put him in more playmaking situations. His mid-range game is better, and he's a really good rim attack. He had a play in our first game where he went coast to coast and dunked the ball. We were just a little slow getting back, and that got our guys' attention. We did better after that, but for us, he's been a Durant-like matchup. I mean, he's had some huge nights against us, so we have a lot of respect for him. And we talked in our meeting today about, or tonight I should say, about the importance of trying to limit him, because he's our best player clearly, and he's a guy that can take over the game.